Right now on Working For You, seeking revenge on porch pirates, viral videos are offering interesting ideas, but trying this yourself may lead to a much bigger problem. And a holiday tradition may trigger some health problem. Experts weigh in on the debate between real and fake Christmas trees. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being with us. I'm Evan Irani. Here at CBS 8, we're working for you, listening to your concerns, investigating your questions, and finding solutions that matter in our community. We begin with porch pirates. The holiday season is here, and thieves are targeting gifts right as they touch doorsteps. You may have recently seen frustrating victims posting revenge videos online. But that could actually get you into some trouble, too. CBS 8's Steve Price is working for you and spoke to an attorney about why revenge is a bad idea. And Steve has some tips to help keep your deliveries safe.
The holiday season, time for packages to be delivered, but that also makes it the season for porch pirates, which is why videos like these are trending right now on social media. Porch pirate revenge boxes that explode. And while these may be AI generated and fake, they are giving people a lot of ideas, and that has attorneys concerned because they say you really shouldn't do this.
This is in no way acceptable response to porch piracy.
Attorney Gretchen Von Helms agrees it's frustrating. Packages stolen, this one as the delivery driver is still at the door.
You just took your package.
But she says retaliating against these thieves could rob you of your freedom. Is this the right way to deal with that frustration?
Absolutely not.
Von Helm says you could face serious criminal charges for putting out a box with the intent to harm someone.
If they got blinded by this, or something flew in their eye, or say you used an explosive and it killed them, then you would be eligible for serving jail time for a crime.
And injuries could lead to a civil lawsuit too, costing you big bucks.
There was a case where the robber got on the house and fell through the house and sued the homeowners for having an unsafe roof and collected.
According to SafeWise, a home safety research company, 104 million packages were stolen off porches in the past year, totaling about $15 billion in merchandise. And it ramps up around the holidays, which is why experts offer the following tips. Schedule deliveries for when people are home, require a signature at drop-off, or have packages delivered to a pickup location. San Diego police also have another suggestion. If you know a package has been delivered and you're not home, reach out to a neighbor.
If you have a neighbor that's willing to help you out, and you could text them or call them and say, hey, I had a package arrive. Would you mind getting that package for me and then keep it until I get home?
If you just can't help yourself, Von Helm says you could do what this porch pirate victim does. Fill boxes with cigarette butts, fast food wrappers, and used kitty litter, which may not have the impact of an exploding box, but will definitely still get your point across. Steve Price, CBS 8.
All right, that's one idea. You got some options there, though. Christmas, of course, just around the corner, meaning many of you have set up a Christmas tree at home. A new study is looking into how these trees could possibly be causing health problems. CBS 8's Alex Cheney is working for you with what you need to know.
Christmas trees sparkle, can be beautiful, but could you be allergic to Christmas trees? We're getting the facts on if it's the actual tree that's causing you to sneeze. Our sources, Dr. Devin Preston, allergist with the Cleveland Clinic, a study from the Annals of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology, and UCLA Health. The study found it might not be the actual pine tree itself. A small sample of Christmas trees carried 50 different types of mold, 2/3 of which could have hay fever-like symptoms.
Christmas tree syndrome to us is, when people bring in either an artificial or a real tree, and then they notice some worsening of their allergy symptoms, asthma symptoms, and just, general irritation of the skin, eyes, nose.
According to UCLA Health, the mold can mess with your respiratory tract, triggering breathing issues and causing symptoms like coughing, sneezing, watery or itchy eyes, and asthma attacks. Dr. Preston says the best thing to do to avoid this is to shake out your Christmas tree before bringing it indoors or dust off the artificial tree. Once inside, you can put an air purifier near the tree to help you catch any allergens you missed. Make sure decorations are also dusted.
Most Christmas decorations, especially if just stored in the attic or the basement, can still be a source of different allergens and irritants that can cause symptoms. So cleaning them off very well before putting them on the tree.
Now, when storing an artificial tree and decorations, make sure they are in an airtight container. Also, make sure to get rid of real trees soon after the holiday season, since mold and dust can continue to build up.
Well, in a 5-3 vote, the San Diego City Council voted to continue its partnership with a controversial camera system. Flock operates hundreds of automatic license plate readers around the city. Police say the cameras help them solve crimes, citing 187 arrests and citations between October 2024 and August of 2025. Among those arrests, 2 murder cases and 9 assaults. However, privacy and immigration advocates worry about misuse of these camera systems.
San Diegans cannot afford millions of dollars a year to cede our privacy rights to a company that is simultaneously ineffectual in solving crime while enabling our country to become a police state.
These cameras and the ALPR technology solves crime and acts like a permanent neighborhood watch that never needs rest, that never leaves, that doesn't go on vacation, always sees what's there.
San Diego law prohibits the sharing of license plate data with any level of government, including federal. However, a June report from the city's Privacy Advisory Board found that misconfigured settings during the system's launch allowed for nearly 13,000 searches of the camera database. A man who lives in Skyline, who has relied on city trash pickup since the 90s, has now been cut off, and it's all because of the new rules. The city says he's ineligible for service, and private haulers won't help him either. CBS 8's Brian White is now working for you to get answers.
This is what Antonio Baker's been doing since 1998, rolling his trash can down this long driveway for city pickup here on Hammershaw Road. But after more than 25 years of weekly service, Baker was told he no longer qualifies under the city's new rules that require a home to sit directly on a public street.
Even though I pay taxes just like anybody else, I am being, shall I say, blackballed because I live far from the street.
His home sits along an easement 175 feet from the road where his mailbox is, and every week he'd wheel his cans down.
It's usually about here, and it's not blocking. And I usually keep it, we usually keep it forward.
But now with city service cut off, he's required to hire a private hauler, and that's where he's hit another wall. He says both Edco and Waste Management turned him down, and one company only offered a dumpster.
I said, okay, that's great, but that's $400 a week. So you can imagine I would not be able to afford that. The cost would be outrageous.
I reached out to the city's environmental services. They say Antonio is one of about 20,000 customers recently identified as ineligible.
They're actively working with private haulers, trying to get quotes. We'll keep providing them service. We have the ability to delay any enforcement during this transition period.
But eventually, customers who don't secure a private hauler will face penalties, starting with a $200 fine, followed by $250 every 2 weeks until service is confirmed. Right now, Antonio's running out of time.
I hope that the city will hear us out, and just change up some of their mandates where it's not so harsh.
If you're one of the homeowners affected by these changes, we have a link to the city's list of resources on CBS8.com. I'm going to stay on top of this story and push for a solution. Working for you, Brian White, CBS 8.
Brian, thank you. Shopping in the new year could look a bit different in California. Coming up, we'll show you why even reusable plastic bags won't be available. Plus, residents living near Balboa Park are looking for answers after the city implemented new parking rules, the problems they're facing, and the proposal from the city. Welcome back, everyone. If you shop at stores like Walmart, you may have noticed they no longer have plastic bags, only brown paper bags. And that's because a new state law is banning all plastic bags, including the reusable kind. CBS 8's Jenny Huh is working for you and shares what you need to know before the law takes effect.
When you're at a grocery store, you may bring your own bag or pay 10 cents for a reusable plastic bag like this one. Starting next year, even these will be banned.
Plastic's easier to carry, but these bags are pretty sturdy.
I have more bags than you guys have, I think, anywhere. Just recycling.
They're just like backup for you?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, if I forget them.
Come January 1st, 2026, grocery stores, pharmacies, liquor stores, and convenience stores won't be able to distribute plastic bags. Stores will still offer paper bags for 10 cents, though those under food assistance programs will be exempt. And by 2028, these bags must be made from at least 50% recycled materials.
I don't necessarily think that those types of bags are as sturdy, so I think it's just going to be more of a pain. So I pretty much just bring my own bags to do my shopping.
As long as they're thick enough. You get the cheap ones, and as soon as you get halfway out of the store, they rip.
These changes are a result of Democratic State Senator Catherine Blakespear Senate Bill 1053, which was signed into law in 2024.
The plastic bags at grocery stores are just not necessary. But those single-use plastic bags, they are single-use. I mean, that's how we use them.
Blakespear says the initial state ban on single-use plastic bags, which Californians voted into law in 2016, left a loophole.
The bag manufacturers got around that by distributing plastic bags that were double the thickness of plastic, and they were considered to be recyclable and reusable. But the reality is that in California, nowhere recycled them, and almost nobody was reusing them.
California Attorney General Rob Bonta launched an investigation in 2022 into major plastic bag producers and reached a settlement in October, finding their bags did not meet the state's recyclability requirements. SB 1053 was opposed by Republican senators, one of whom say reducing plastic usage in California won't solve the greater problem.
It was overkill. We are doing a great job of reducing greenhouse gas emissions and having absolutely no impact on greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. So we're going to inconvenience consumers with regard to how they can take groceries home.
The new law will not impact these compostable plastic produce bags. Jenny Huh, CBS 8.
Well, new parking meters along 6th Avenue by Balboa Park are now up and running. And some nearby residents without dedicated parking, they're worrying that they'll be priced out. We first reported their concerns after the City Council approved the fees last month. Now we're working for you to get answers about a proposal from the city. CBS 8's Abby Black has more from Bankers Hill.
The parking meters are up on 6th Avenue across from Balboa Park, and free parking for residents like Connor Hancock is gone, and there's no parking garage nearby.
But you have to move your car every 4 hours, but even if I did that, I think it'd be like $20 a day, and that's including Sundays, including Saturday. That would be a lot of money.
We did the math at $2.50 an hour with a 4-hour maximum for a 12-hour period. That's $30 a day.
If this stays and I elected to park in front of my house, it would cost me $11,000 a year.
Aaron Quintanar and his neighbors reached out to CBS 8 for help when the city extended paid parking outside Balboa Park. The meters are now operational and already enforced, but paid parking inside Balboa Park doesn't start until January 5th. Hancock says that timing doesn't make sense.
It's not that close to Balboa Park. I mean, even right now, the other side is empty, so I really don't know who they think is going to pay to park here all day, every day.
We asked the city if there could be any parking breaks for residents. In an email, a spokesperson said the meters were installed to prevent park visitors from clogging residential streets after paid parking starts inside the park in January. The city plans to offer discounted Sunday parking permits for residents near meters, but they won't work on 6th Avenue itself, only nearby side streets.
That doesn't solve our problem, our parking problems.
We looked over the city's parking FAQ page. Meters on 6th Avenue run from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily at $2.50 an hour with a 4-hour max. The Sunday permits would cost $150 a year and could roll out as early as April.
Hopefully they listen to their constituents, especially the ones that they're pretty much displacing from where they live. It's a big deal to us, even though it's just a few of us. It does affect our lives.
Neighbors say they'll keep pushing for a daily permit option.
And that was Abby Black reporting. Councilman Stephen Whitburn, who represents the area, has raised concerns but ultimately approved the paid parking plan. The San Diego Airport's new Terminal 1 is up and running, but what happens to all the waste from the old terminal? Coming up, we're going to show you how that rubble is being put to good use. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. From the airport to a land port, remnants of the old Terminal 1 building are now being repurposed for the new port of entry in Otay Mesa. CBS 8 traffic reporter Vanessa Paz shows us how crews are turning rubble into roadway.
It's been in talks for almost 30 years, a third and new port of entry connecting the U.S. and Mexico. And finally, at the start of November, crews broke ground on the new site set to be done by 2028.
We'll be able to handle about 12,000 cars a day and 1,500 trucks a day. As we advance in technology, we might be able to handle even more than that, but eventually as demand grows, we'll be able to grow to 25 cargo lanes and 20 passenger lanes.
Maria Molina with Sandex says they're excited to not only start the huge infrastructure project, but to share that the new roadway will be made with recycled material from a familiar site, the rocks and materials of what was the old Terminal 1 at San Diego International Airport.
About 100 trucks a day coming in for the next 3 to 5 months. The material gets unloaded here. Behind me, you can see there is a crushing operation that gets taken throughout the site in the locations for the new buildings. Water gets added, it gets very compacted, and that's the new base for the buildings.
A true win-win, she says.
We were very excited to hear that the activities at the airport were happening at the same time, and it all lined up perfectly to bring the material on site.
And those benefits extend beyond reducing landfill waste, saving fuel truck miles, and serious cash.
Our cost savings right now is estimated about $500,000. And so we're bringing about 100,000 cubic yards to the site in the next 3 to 4 months.
This will also be the first port of entry in California to include a toll system. Car and truck tolls will range from $10 to $50 depending on demand and are expected to guarantee a 20 to 30 average wait time.
Expect to also help the other 2 ports of entry that are oversubscribed and decrease wait times at peak times by about 40%.
So far, Marie says they've faced minor challenges, including a few rain delays, but otherwise, trucking and crushing are running smoothly.
Well, coming up, you do not need to go into debt while Christmas shopping. The trend catching on this year that is helping people save. Welcome back, everyone. If you are on the market to buy a new home, there's some good news for potential buyers. The Federal Reserve recently made its 3rd rate cut of this year, and there are signs of at least one additional rate cut next year. 30-year mortgage rates have already started to fall from the 6.8% peak that we saw in 2023, and Redfin now predicts rates could drop to about 6.3% in 2026.
That's probably not as low as a lot of people would like to see, but it's an improvement from the mid to high 6% averages that we've seen for the past 3 years.
And even just that small percentage change can affect your monthly payment by a large sum. But there's also some bad news here. Redfin predicts young buyers will start to face an uphill battle, and would-be home buyers may end up moving in with parents or roommates to save money. Well, buyer beware, as Instacart's AI technology sets different prices for the same items, depending on the customer. Prices could be as much as 20% higher for different shoppers. That's according to new research from consumer advocate groups. Analysts say the online grocery delivery service uses AI to determine how much is too much before a person decides to not buy that item. This is different than dynamic pricing, for example, which is largely based on supply and demand. Well, as inflation continues to impact people's shopping habits this holiday season, national trends are showing a rise in secondhand apparel and goods. CBS 8's Shannon Handy has more, including where in San Diego you can find some good deals.
National Retail Federation expects people will spend a bit less this holiday season. But what if you still want to buy gifts for everyone in your life? Well, one great option is to shop at a thrift store.
Thrift shopping isn't a new concept, but it's growing in popularity. So much so, a report by online thrift store ThredUp estimates the global secondhand apparel market will reach $367 billion by 2029.
30 bucks! And they're Gucci, and they're fabulous, and they're yes!
Online influencers often boast about their thrift store finds,
Bedazzled.
saying it not only saves them money, it's good for the environment as well.
Keeping stuff out of the landfill.
I met Megan Beeman at HomeStart in Normal Heights. She loves thrifting for herself and others, especially during the holiday season.
You can like set a budget and say like, I'm gonna do $15 for each person, and then find like a couple things that are like $3 to $5 each and fill a bucket so they have like so many little surprises.
San Diego is home to dozens of thrift stores. Many go beyond just buying and selling discounted goods. HomeStart is a local nonprofit that specializes in preventing child abuse and helping families secure housing, employment, and more.
Repurpose for a purpose.
CEO Joe Burley says 100% of the proceeds from the thrift store go back to their mission, including giving employees a fresh start.
A lot of the staff who are here are in part of our employment development and training program. Many times young moms who are looking to get back on track.
So what kind of treasures did I find? Everything from household items to $2 sunglasses and a $9 dress, which was on sale for half off.
$4.50. You might see me in this on the air tomorrow.
We found similar deals at the Salvation Army thrift store in Otay Mesa.
That's just still in the package.
Some items were new at a fraction of the cost.
And what a better way to spread Christmas cheer than
Major Paul Swain says, like other thrift stores, they've seen business spike. To keep up, the Salvation Army is now posting merchandise online, even high-ticket items you may not expect.
They have autographs on things and jewelry and watches, handbags, shoes, all kinds of things.
A new addition this year, the Salvation Army is offering daily deals during the 12 days leading up to Christmas, yet another incentive to go thrifting this holiday season.
Each day there's a different item, might be shoes, might be handbags. They'll be discounted already on a really great low price.
Shanna Handy, CBS 8.
That's it for us. Have a great weekend, everyone.